Communication is just like playing catch. When you play catch, you have a thrower and you have a catcher. And the ball is what passes between the thrower and the catcher. Now the thrower needs to throw the ball in such a way that the other person can catch. And if not, the other person starts to tell, hey, throw slow, throw high or throw low, or go a little faster, let's pick up pace or let's slow down pace. Now based upon this, you can continuously and constantly keep playing catch without tossing the ball down or without losing the ball or dropping the ball. Now let's look at how this relates to communication. In communication, you have a speaker and a listener, a sender and a receiver. And what goes between the speaker to the listener is nothing but the message. And when this message happens in an environment, that environment matters. Just like when you're playing catch, if it's too hot or if it's too cold, you can't play well. Same way, the noise or the obstructions in the environment can create trouble for communication. And this message, when not given properly and the listener does not understand, the listener gives feedback to the sender, just like the catcher says that to the person that's throwing while playing catch. So just like playing catch, the objective is to not drop the ball and to keep playing constantly. Communication also is to not miss the message, to not miscommunicate and keep communicating constantly. So what happens when the thrower chooses to throw at their full speed without caring about the catcher? Then the ball doesn't get caught and the game does not continue. The same thing happens when a lot of people tell me, my job is to tell, I told, it's not up to me what the other person says. That's not effective communication. Your role is not just to tell, but to tell in such a way that the other person can actually understand what you're saying. At the same time, a lot of times the catcher kind of says, I'm standing over here, okay, and he's not throwing the ball to me. Why should it be my problem? Unless and until the catcher gives feedback to tell the other person to throw high or low or fast or slow, the person that's throwing the ball will not know how to adjust and how to adapt to actually do that. Same way, a listener needs to give feedback, needs to say, could you repeat? Could you keep slower? Could you speak a little more clearly so that they can understand? Otherwise, the communicator or the speaker will not know what changes to make. Feedback. As much as the thrower and the catcher, as much as the two players constantly need to have each other's attention while still being aware of the changes in the environment, that much important it is for also the speaker and the listener to keep talking to each other, to maintain eye contact and to be aware of the environment around them. So what happens if just one person keeps throwing the balls immediately, one after the other, and the catcher just can't catch them, they give up. Same thing happens when the speaker speaks too much and the listener is not able to grasp all of that. So what happens that when the thrower is trying to throw the ball, instead the catcher starts to playing with another person on the side. Now the person throwing the ball will start to feel neglected and will withdraw. The same thing happens when one person is communicating and the other person is talking to someone else or doing some other task and saying, I'm listening, go ahead. The person starts to lose interest and can actually stop speaking. What happens when actually the person throwing the ball throws it too fast and too hard and it might actually hurt the listener? That's what happens when you shout, when you yell and when you're aggressive, that the listener can start to feel offended about it. So, whose responsibility is it to ensure that the game catch continues to be playing, that the ball doesn't get to drop? It's not just that of the thrower, it's not just that of the catcher, but it is both of them together playing their role so that the game continues on. And that's what the speaker and the listener need to do in communication for any message so that the communication channel continues to do. So the next time you're thinking about communication, the next time you're looking at what's okay and what's not okay in your communication, just go back and say that if you were playing catch, how would you play this? If you were playing catch, what would you change so that the game would continue? And do that little bit of a shift even here in your communication to make it effective and excellent. This is Revati Turga from the Leadership Unlocked channel. Like, share, subscribe and come back to watch more.